champion, still only 26 years old. He's been around the world several million times and really seems to have raced in all classes, and he is right there, Walker. But you said it before, Scott, that Suzuki is actually not slow.
No, you can see out of here, Hodgson tends to have the legs on the Suzuki, but the Suzuki, once we get halfway down the straight, it looks like the quicker bike. And we're going to be proved wrong here as Hodgson pulls out of his draft.
Bottom of the straight then. I'll tell you what, Hodgson has sharpened his act up on the brakes down into the club chicane, that is for certain. So Hodgson holds off Walker, and then you've got the menace of number 5, James Hayden. Up the inside of Walker. Well, Walker tried to out-tough him last time in part 1. No such luck this time. Hayden makes it absolutely decisive and goes through into second place. Right then, Ducati, Suzuki and Ducati.
Yeah, this is just what Hodgson needed there in the lead, to have Walker held up. So it's allowed Hodgson to get a little bit of a break, and this is his strong part of the circuit that we're coming into now.
You've got to say, Chris Walker's aggression looks like it's doing him no good, really. He's making the bike work very hard indeed. He's definitely a dramatic rider to watch, but he's slipped back now to 3rd place. It is Hodgson that leads on bike number 4. Will Hayden catch him? James Hayden, what a rider he is. He's had a great year so far, and his opening win at Brands Hatch was something a bit special.
Yeah, it was difficult for him because in the first part of the race he wasn't right at the front, so he now has to finish well ahead of everybody else to, on aggregate, win the race.
Well, on the last lap it was Hayden in 3rd place, some 9/10 of a second, nearly a whole second behind Hodgson, the leader. So when we get to the start line and our monitors trip here in the commentary position, we will be able to tell you the truth of the matter as Hayden there makes the bike sit down, as did Reynolds on bike number 3. Reynolds is past Chris Walker as well now, so Chris Walker has been relegated back to 4th place. Looks like Hislop is having a bit of battle back in there, and Walker on the brakes, he makes me jump every time.
And Hayden is zooming right up on Hodgson. In the last lap they were the only two doing low 16s.
That leads on the road and by the track. We have 6 laps to go. Here we go. Hayden hits the front. James Hayden goes through at the club chicane. Superb stuff from the Birkenstead flyer. So through has gone number 5, James Hayden. Then it's 4, Neil Hodgson, your former leader, who now will have to tag himself into the slipstream of James Hayden, because Hayden is how far behind? In fact, they are absolutely equal as far as our clock is concerned here in the commentary position. So Hayden needs to be just under half a second in front of Hodgson as they cross the line on the last lap of this restarted race to win on aggregate. We're on board with Chris Walker in 4th place. We're at the complex at the moment. He's under John Reynolds. He's got John Reynolds. There he is after Hodgson. Watch out, Neil. Hayden with the power down over the line. Let's take a look at it. It's Hayden that leads.
Walker diving up the inside into turn 1 and manages to take second on the track from Hodgson.
How did he do that going into Allard? So Chris Walker goes into 2nd place. Right, that is a decisive movement. Hayden leads by just over 1/10 of a second as they cross the line from Hodgson now, and Hodgson going back that one more place has just taken the race lead away from him, as far as I see it, almost permanently. Chris Walker is right there with Hodgson breathing down his ankles. Look at that Virgin Mobile Yamaha round the outside, and Izzy goes through to 2nd place. He weaved between the 2 bikes and goes into 2nd place. Well, Steve Hislop has made these 3 fastest corners here at Thruxton all of his own as he exits church. That Yamaha is working perfectly. It might not be the fastest bike in the race, but certainly when Izzy's on it around the long turns, he makes it work for him. So Izzy 2nd. Here comes Walker one side, and out the outside goes Hodgson. Whoa, this is one hell of a superbike race at the club chicane. Stalker goes back into 2nd place. Izzy, the man of the fast bits, is back in 3rd place now as Hayden goes across the line. So James Hayden takes his 2nd win of the season, and that does his championship a whole load of good. Hayden's qualifying position by his standards not so good on the 2nd row, but his finishing position isn't bad. Walker 2nd, Hodgson 3rd confirmed, Reynolds the series leader 4th, Hislop, McKenzie, Crawford and Goddard round out the top 8. And in the championship, John Reynolds still has control, but look at Hodgson. Hayden there in 3rd, Walker 4th, Hislop, McKenzie, Plater and Crawford. That's the top 8 after 5 races.
The team worked really hard on the bike this weekend. We made a big breakthrough for me, and I feel much more comfortable on it. And
were you aware of the big battle going on just behind you?
I wasn't really, but I knew, like, you know, I just had to do my thing at the front. The tyres decided to go off a bit, but Dunlop gave me a brilliant tyre. But I know it was the same for everyone, so I just thought if I'm out front, I can really sort of just measure that and like try and control it. So that's what I did, and I knew I had to beat Neil by 0.4, because that's why I was behind the first one. I wasn't sure whether I had or hadn't, so I just really, last couple of laps, just got my head down. So I'm really chuffed. Thanks a lot to the Red Bull Revo team, all my mechanics, Dunlop, Auer, everyone.
I'm disappointed, obviously. I didn't come out. I didn't finish where I wanted to finish, but it's a good race. Bit of fairing bashing going on. That's always a good laugh.
I had a really good dice with John Reynolds and Hodgson. I really enjoyed it, and it paid off in the end.
James wasn't aware of the melee going on behind him. You guys were real battling it out there, weren't you?
Yeah, absolutely. Stevie did me a favour, I think, on the last lap, came through and got a bit of a gap between me and Neil, so that was really good. So thanks to Steve Finslop for that.
Does James Hayden do the double at Thruxton, or will Walker fox him? Before the Superbike finale, we meet again with Aussie sensation Chris Vermeulen. The Supersports are next. Ground for Superbike riders is in the Supersports class, and this year the British Series is full of talent. Talking of talent,
The clouds are coming in here for the battle of the Supersports, and here's a shock, the Aussies are out in force. Boy wonder here, Chris Vermeulen. Chris, this track hasn't proved any problems for you at all, has it?
Not at the moment, but hopefully I can keep doing the same in this 600 race. I was pretty happy with the win in the last one, but see if we can do it again.
Good luck to you, mate.
Thanks.
Right, row one, we have got McCarthy, we've got Whitby, we've got Moody, and of course, first pole of the season, we've got Dean Thomas. Dean, congratulations on pole for you. Can the Ducati beat the Hondas out there?
Yeah, I certainly hope so. I mean, the Hondas have they've had it their way for the last 2 rounds. I think it's our turn now.
if he can call 0.08 of a second an advantage, then Dean has it over Jim Moody. Howard Whitby's there in third and Kurt McCarthy in fourth place. Vermeulen back on the second row with his teammate Glenn Richards. Steve Brogan's there in seventh place, and 23-year-old Danny Bowman on the MS Motorsport bike, eighth. Scott Smart leaves the commentary booth for 11th place on the grid. Better do better than that in the race. Dave Johnson has taken over Ian Simpson's Rev A Red Bull Ducati bike. Get well soon, Ian. Dean Thomas on pole, but look at the man Glaswegian alongside him. Jim Moody gets a great start on the Castrol Honda as well. Howard Whitby's the red bike in the middle of the picture there. Oh, Castrol Hondas and the Ducati's forced out at Allard, and that's let through 5 bikes. So Dean Thomas on bike number 6 is in all sorts of problems as he goes back behind our very own Scott Smart on bike 88. Jim Moody leads. Oh, no, he doesn't. Kurt McCarthy, his teammate, on the brakes. He left it lunatic late into the club chicane, and it's McCarthy that leads from Moody. The two Castrol Honda boys from Vermeulen up from the second row of the grid. Number 2 is Vermeulen. Then it is Howard Whitby. The fast corners of the course. Vermeulen slides into second place. This kid is sensational on the Sanyo Honda against the Castrol Hondas. McCarthy leads, Australian. Then it is Vermeulen, Australian. And then it is Glaswegian. But will Jim be able to do anything about it? Watch out for Dean Thomas too on the yellow bike. Number 6, he made a lousy start, but he's there in 4th place now, and he's got the demon breaker Howard Whitby behind him. But it's Kurt McCarthy in control on bike 16 from Chris Vermeulen on bike 2. Oh, here comes Jim up the inside of Chris Vermeulen. So he splits the Aussies. In fact, there's 3 of them there as well. It's like an Australian championship. I don't know about a British one. McCarthy leads from Jim Moody from Vermeulen, who's looking even more desperate. Well, he's 17 and he hasn't learned what he can't do with that bike just yet. Still, it is McCarthy, but look at Moody. Oh, yes, hello, teammate. Get out of my way. The Glaswegian leads. Good on you, Jim. Out of the club. Oh, and Vermeulen up in the air as well. Take another look at Jim Moody sliding underneath Kurt McCarthy. 3 abreast, they come through the fastest part of the course into the braking area. Vermeulen up into second place. It's McCarthy that leads. Jim Moody is in 3rd place, being attacked by Dean Thomas, the poleman. And the man in 5th place behind them is another Australian, Glenn Richards. McCarthy, Vermeulen, Moody, Kurt McCarthy is on